up, guys? It's Marty. So today on, with Marty Kauffman's YouTube channel. Like, subscribe. Alright, guys, so what I'm going to talk about to you today is, I just saw that movie, John Henry, on the Netflix the other day. So, I came in this movie and I was like, oh, a movie about John Henry. I don't know if you guys know who John Henry was, or the story of John Henry. So, John Henry was this black guy that it's like a folk hero, because he was like a still driving man and really big guy and everything. He had a hammer and he was hammering nails in there and everything. But anyway, this movie has Terry Crews and Ludacris in it, and I'm watching this movie and I'm like watching it. So I'll just tell you, I'm giving you my review right now. So this is my review about the John Henry movie review. So anyway, it starts out. He's in Los Angeles, it's modern day John Henry, I guess, which to me doesn't really make much sense, because there ain't no railroad around, well, there is, but people don't use railroad anymore. But so anyway, it starts out with him. He's building a doghouse for his dog, and then some gangster rolls over and runs over his dog. And then and the gangster's like, hey, you gonna fix this dent, blah, blah, blah. And he pulls out his gun. He's like, what? You gonna respect me? And John Henry just stands up, and the guy's like, oh dang, this guy's huge, because John Henry's like 7 feet tall, really built. He's a big dude. Anyway, guys, so then John Henry just like stands up and he looks at the guy, and then he just takes his dog and he just goes back to his house, because the guy just ran over his dog, and John Henry's all upset about it. But then the next scene, these guys are playing dominoes, and it turns out that all these gangsters are running like a sex trafficking ring or something like that, because they got all these girls, and they be trafficking them. But then these two Mexican guys, I thought it was like, oh, these like two Mexican guys, but it turns out they're like two Hondurans. So they just come in and they shoot at the place, pop, 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 and it turns out that their like half sister was like got caught up in this whole sex trafficking thing. So they got her, and then like she got away or something, and she's just like hanging out underneath John Henry's porch. And then like a day goes by, and John Henry's like, hey, you hungry? So anyway, guys, the whole point of this movie is John Henry is supposed to be on the railroad driving hammers, because I don't know if you actually know the fairy tale or the tall tale, or whatever you want to call it, about John Henry. It's really inspirational. The original story is really inspirational, and this movie, not inspirational at all. I mean, like growing up the way I did, I heard this John Henry tale and I was like, man, anything's possible. But this movie doesn't really convey that, because the tale is about John Henry. He was a slave. Alright, so he was a slave, and then he got his freedom. So then he went and worked on the railroad. And he was a still driving man, like they were saying, and he's the fastest still driving man, because they put those things in the railroad, to hold him down, the like steel pikes or whatever they're called, So he's the fastest at that, and then this one guy comes about and he's like, hey, John Henry, I bet you can't beat my steam machine, it's really fast. And he's like, oh, I bet I can. So then John Henry, because he's like the biggest guy, they said that John Henry about split his mama in two, when he was born, because he was really big. Anyway, he's facing the steam machine, and you know what happened there, guys? Well, what happened there is he ended up beating the steam machine, but then sad story, and like spoiler alert, John Henry dies at the end. Because it was like way too exhausting for him. But this movie doesn't convey any of that. It got like Ludacris in it, and Ludacris plays some gangster. So this modern day John Henry doesn't work at all. So Netflix, bad movie. What were you thinking, Terry Crews? Like, Terry Crews plays John Henry, and Terry Crews is good as the original Old Spice Man. I don't know why I gave that up, because there's a new Old Spice Man now, and he's really good in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and oh man, he was really good in Friday After Next. Terry Crews and Friday After Next, amazing. Also, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Who doesn't like Brooklyn Nine-Nine? Fox didn't like Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but then NBC picked them up, so that was all good. So anyway, guys, there's just my review of that John Henry film on Netflix. I wouldn't waste your time because original tale of John Henry, really inspirational. This one, not so much. I mean, he's just walking around with a hammer in modern day Los Angeles and Compton, and people are shooting him at the end, and Ludacris has like some metal thing on his face. I don't know what that's about, but it's just too much, And in the original John Henry tale, like I was telling you, really inspirational. And this, not inspirational at all. I mean, maybe it could be a little inspirational because he helped the girl escape or whatever, but what happened to the girl then? Because they don't tell you what happened to the girl because her brother-in-law, or not her brother-in-law, her half brother and her actual brother end up dying. John Henry's dad died all because this Honduran girl, I guess. So if that Honduran girl never was underneath John Henry's porch, John Henry and his dad in this movie on Netflix would still be alive. But like I was telling you, has nothing to do with the actual John Henry tale itself, which is really disappointing to me, because I really like the original John Henry tale, and this, I don't know what they're thinking. I don't know what they're thinking, Terry Crews. Come on, Terry Crews. Stick to your Friday movies and Brooklyn Nine-Nine. This one, hey, it would have been a whole lot better if you were, at least had something to do with the railroad. I mean, if you were, like a Union Pacific worker, or something like that. At least been retired from the railroad or something. But we don't even know what Terry Crews' character did in the whole first half of his life. I guess he started out was going to be a gangster, but then he wasn't. But I don't know. I think it should at least had something to do with the railroad. At least have something to do with the railroad. But anyway, guys. I'm kind of rambling on about this, because I was just hey, this story, not inspirational at all. Original story, very inspirational. Anyway, guys, just make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Take care of yourself, be kind to one another, and Marty out. Boop.